All right, so this is a simple setup that I like to do to emphasize one particular skill, which is visual discipline.
Okay.
So this is like a more advanced transition technique, but it goes hand in hand with partials and no-shoots because they require more visual discipline to maximize your points.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of this, what I want to get you a lot more comfortable with is when you see a no-shoot or a partial, I want you to use that as an advantage to put yourself over other shooters and get more points where they're not putting in the effort or the work ahead of time. The goal is to, without losing speed,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna take the points where we can by using more mental effort in relation to our vision.
Okay.
And like precisely looking at the exact spot you wanna aim at, right? So on this array, the no-shoot presentations they're not super bad at this distance, but if you want to get those alphas, it's kind of tricky.
Yeah.
Right, so we have some offset even at 10 yards. So we got to make sure that we're not low on that first target on the left.
Right.
So basically, it's nice just the way the sun is now. I can use that A-zone line, that top of the A-zone, as a good visual reference.
Mm-hmm.
So I want my dot to be at that level, like almost exactly with the line, maybe a little above or a little below. But I definitely want to see a lot of brown space between the no-shoot to minimize risk.
Right.
And then we have the left and right of the A-zone that's kind of like, you know, bracketing your left and right boundary. So when I make a mistake here, I want it to be in the Charlie around the A-zone. And when I hit my spot, I want it to be in the upper A-zone. And then we go immediately from that left target to an open target in the center. So that one still requires precision, especially like there's a tendency to just go fast through it since it's in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And we're trying to make it to the next one. So precisely going to the center of that A-zone is another really important skill. Like you have to maintain focus through the whole array, but make sure you're not losing speed.
Gotcha.
Right? And then the last one is even more risky because we're transitioning horizontally and that's our minimum error there. Yeah, so on this one, I'd say that's where we're accepting the most Charlies here.
Okay.
But if I can, I want to be, you know, how it slants in at the top. So it's a little safer to aim like top right edge of the A-zone. So that's kind of where I want to see my dot, is right around the top right edge of the A-zone with still some good space between the white and my dot. And I'm not going for crazy speed here. Really, it's visual precision.
Just good hits.
Yeah. So a consistent, like across my runs, a consistent pattern and high visual detail. Okay. So before I do the rep, I'm gonna actually aim at the target and make sure that I see my dot where I want it to be. This is just to drive in the skill. So I'm near the top of that A-zone line, but not really below it because that's too risky. Center, just in the A-zone. And then on the right, I'm near the top corner. We're accepting some Charlies here. But if I can, I want to maximize A-zone hits. Cool, so I'm happy with that. So stock on belt, and yeah, we'll give it a try.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Stand by. 2-2-4.
2-2-4. Okay, and a clear rhythm there, right?
Yeah.
From hard, easy, hard, or you know, a little more confirmation.
Yeah.
So this worked out for me. I'm like, when I'm lifting the gun up fast, what I'm really doing is trying to get in this general area and picking my dot up at the earliest time. So as I'm lifting the gun to my shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing my dot come in somewhere below it, and I'm just looking for it to be along this area. So I'm, like we talked about before, I'm using hardly any effort once I get to this point, and I'm just nicely guiding it exactly where I want.
Gotcha.
So the last portion is slow, so I can confidently just lift it here, and I know it'll stop without any of this happening. Because that's the danger here with this target. So this one, I just have to make sure that I'm aware of the center of that target in my periphery as I'm shooting this.
Mm-hmm.
And then this has a lot more margin of error. Like, even if I don't have the perfect snap here and I have a little jiggle, I'm somewhat in the A-zone still because it's a big area.
Right.
And then over here, I was pretty accurate on my top corner placement, and that worked out for me because even on the ones where I was a little to the left, like my dot might have been about here, I was still calling it okay. A little more, I would have been too close to the white.
Yeah.
And a little right, that's okay too, but I'm in the C zone. But see here we have this group, which is like, you know, it's about the same size as that group, but it's just placement. And I was able to get 5 alpha, 1 Charlie in roughly the same speed. Okay, so we took the no shoots off, but we're gonna shoot it as if it's exactly the same presentation. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
pretend the no shoots are still there.
Right. Pretend they're still there, you just can't see them.
Okay.
So this makes the visual discipline a lot harder because the no shoots actually gave you a benefit when you were choosing that small spot to aim at.
Right.
The no shoot color contrast with the brown actually gave you a really nice reference point on where your eyes could snap to. So now that that's gone, it takes a lot more mental energy or mental effort to put it there. So we're gonna, yeah, and after this, when we get the hits, we're gonna put the no shoots back up at the level they were, and then see what the results were. Okay. So again, I'm gonna set myself up and make sure I look and see exactly where I wanna aim. So near the top of the A zone, but not too wide left or right. Center of the A, and then top right corner on the right side. First one, I basically had it up against the D's.
Okay.
Right there.
So still really good placement.
Yeah, so I was able to just put it in the same spot as before. Just in my head, I used a different reference, which was just looking harder at this distinct line of the A zone.
Okay.
And I didn't have the no shoot to tell me if I was like getting too close or too dangerous. The center one I was pretty happy with, but I did pull off into the Charlie, or had not perfect recoil control. So that's okay. I mean, I was still shooting fast on this one. Occasional Charlie's fine. And then on this side, it looks like instead of being up higher, I was like, even though I was using this as a reference, I kind of had my group drop a bit, and probably it's because the no shoot isn't there to push me higher. So this corner was touching that corner. It's still fine. But I might have been able to turn these Charlies into alphas if I just shifted my group up and to the left a tiny, tiny bit.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what I mean by let the no shoot actually tell you where the best aiming point is. Okay, so now that no shoots are back up, just like the original array, we're gonna shoot it again, and I just want you to pay attention to how much easier it is now that you've worked on that visual technique. The no shoots really give you a good reference for it, and they allow your eyes to snap to the exact point that you want to shoot faster, as long as you put that programming effort in ahead of time. Are you ready? Stand by. Nice, good. 236.
So much easier to aim with those no shoots.
Yeah, right? Like, never thought you'd hear yourself say that, right? Yeah, and look at that. Now that the no shoot's up, no more penalties, and basically, your only Charlie was on the center target. Yeah. Look at that. After this, I'm hoping that on every stage, whenever you see any partial anywhere, or even just an open target, you know, it's the same skill, but think of that as an advantage where you can gain points over your competition because you're better practiced at this skill.
Right.
So you're going to be getting those alphas where they're just being safe and going for Charlie deltas. Yeah. So, and you're not giving up any time. That's the key. It's just visual attention.